Joining me right now is Georgia Congressman, House Energy and Commerce Committee member, Earl Buddy Carter. Congressman, great to see you. Thanks very much for joining me. Yesterday, you wrote a letter to Speaker Pelosi calling her out on the Democrat hypocrisy over the border. Tell me where you see things today.
Well, certainly, remember now, this is the same Nancy Pelosi who was critical of Donald Trump's policies at the border and said, if you endanger children, I become a lioness. Well, like yourself, a couple of weeks ago, I visited the Donna facility, and what I saw was completely different from the pictures that the administration is showing right now. What I saw was overcrowding. What I saw was thousands of children who, during a pandemic where very few were getting COVID tests, and there was certainly no mitigation to try to separate those children. In fact, they were literally on top of each other. And for Nancy Pelosi and for the Democrats, like Socialist Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock from Georgia, for them to stand back and say nothing during this time is just hypocritical. Where is the lioness in Nancy Pelosi now?
Well, I mean, what is the point of sending $4 billion to Central America? And now Kamala Harris says she wants to send an additional $310 million. The $4 billion was the Biden administration's plan. Kamala Harris says $310 million. Everybody I spoke with said the same thing about sending money to the Central American countries, that money will end up in the hands of either politicians or criminal cartels. What do you think?
Typical Democratic response, throw money at it. That's what they think you can do to everything. And obviously, this is not going to work. There's corruption down there. That money's not going to go where it needs to go. I don't care if it's $100 million or $1 billion. That money is not going to go where it needs to go, and it's not going to be used for that purpose. For them to be naive enough to think that the American public is going to believe that that's going to solve this situation, that's just ridiculous, and it's hypocritical. They've got to go back to the Trump policies.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. They stopped construction of the wall. They overturned Remain in Mexico, and they reinstituted catch and release. There's your solution to the root causes. Absolutely. Look, we can talk all day about the issues and the hypocrisy on the Democrat side, but what about the GOP side? Wyoming Congresswoman and House Conference Chair Liz Cheney is facing growing calls for removal from her leadership post over her ongoing criticism of former President Trump. New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik now is working to build support, apparently, within the party to replace Cheney in that leadership position. Congressman, you and your colleagues are this close to getting the majority back. You're only a couple of seats away. Are you going to have a division within the party to keep that from happening?
Well, look, we need to focus on the future and not on the past. And we've got to have a unified voice. The soul of our country is at stake here. People need to understand that. That's a message that Republicans have to get across to the public. We are right on policy. We believe in supporting jobs. We believe in making sure that Americans have opportunity, making sure that you have more money in your pocket, making sure that the opportunity to grow is there, making sure that we keep government out of your lives. That's what Republicans believe in, and we need to focus on that positive message. We're going to take back the majority, but we need to be unified. We need to be getting across the message that the socialist Democrats, like Nancy Pelosi, like Raphael Warnock, this is the greatest intrusion, government intrusion into people's lives that we've ever seen, and we need to stop it. The soul of our country is at stake here.
Can you stop it, or are they going to push through massive tax increases and massive spending through reconciliation? Are you powerless to stop this? What are the odds that this passes through reconciliation? Tell me that.
Well, you know, it really depends on the Senate. I mean, the Pelosi has proven that she can get these issues, these pieces of legislation and reconciliation through the House. And right now we're dependent on the Senate, and they've got to be the backstop. They've got to be the one to stop this ludicrousy.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're watching Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin. Congressman, it's good to see you this morning, sir. Thank you. We'll be watching all of the developments. Certainly giving us a lot to talk about. Congressman Buddy Carter.